All right, gang, I got to make this quick. I got a flight to catch. So, attendance tonight was 21,546. Sold out. Torres, Ortega, performance of the night. And fight of the night was Zalhobu versus Prado. And we don't have the other one on here. Oh, yeah, we do. I said Torres, yeah. Yeah, got it. Sorry, my bad.
Dana, just give us your reaction to another fantastic evening in Mexico and how important this week has been for you to be able to come back down here, put on this sort of card, open the PI and everything.
Yeah, no, this was obviously very important. Monumental week for me. This is something I've been waiting for a long time. This week was incredibly successful. So, yeah, it's been amazing.
It's always cool, right, to be able to expand into new regions or go bigger in certain regions, but the region of Mexico itself, with its culture and its fighting history, I feel like that makes it more important and more satisfactory when you're able to do stuff like that, right?
No, I agree. And when you think about when we started and what we faced going head-to-head with boxing, which was so ingrained in our culture, but when you talk about Mexico, I was driving to the arena the other day. Whoever's not from Mexico, I don't know if you saw this, but I'm driving to the arena the other day. There's this huge playground, swings, the things that spin around, and a boxing ring in the middle of the playground, like a little kid playground. That tells you how crazy it is for us to be down here and doing what we're doing.
The reaction to the main event, a great win for Brandon Royval. Maybe an odd performance from Moreno, but what was your takeaways from the 5-round fight?
Yeah, listen, Royval brought it. He fought hard. I thought he won the fight. It looked like Brandon didn't think he lost, when it was announced. But I think pretty much everybody I talked to, that's with me, thought that Royval won the fight.
Co-main event, Brian Ortega, probably has as much heart as anyone else we've seen on this roster.
See him roll his ankle when he was jumping up and down? Saw that happen, and then he looked like he saw a ghost after that, and I thought it was going to be over quick. And then you remember Brian Ortega, who's mentally and physically right, is a problem for anybody.
We're not making fights, but probably right to say that him or Volkanovski in the leadership for that featherweight title?
We'll see.
Okay. Outside of this one, this week we've had Tony Ferguson and Henry Cejudo say that they're not retiring. I know you made your point, your feelings clear about Tony, but do you have interest in seeing Henry come back, or do you think maybe he should consider walking away?
I don't. Listen, that's up to him. I don't. Yeah, it's totally up to him.
And with Tony, is that
I don't know. I hadn't heard it until Lene told me tonight what Tony said. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out.
I know that this has been a long time in the making, from Noche UFC to the PI and everything, but I'm just curious, is your vision complete, or is there much?
Oh, no, there's still a lot of work to do down here. This is just the beginning. We did the Mexican Independence Day fight last year. It was incredibly successful. This year is going to be one of the craziest things you've ever seen in sports. And then, the opening of the PI here is going to be a game changer for the sport down here in Mexico.
And I don't know if you saw in the main event, Brian Ortega seemed like he held the choke a bit longer than he was supposed to. Jair tapped, and then the referee Mark Goddard tried to shake off Brian Ortega, and he kind of kept holding it for a second. I don't know if you
I never even thought about it.
Okay. Yeah. And another question I have for you. For sure, the Sphere, September 17th for Mexican Independence Day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we're deep in the trenches in this thing now.
And I guess how does it work, if you can give us some insight into the Sphere itself? Have you guys gotten that far yet into
Yeah, oh yeah. No, we're into all that. Pretty soon, here in the next, I don't know, give me 3 or 4 weeks. And I'll announce a lot of stuff about what's going on with the Sphere. But I can just tell you this, it's going to be incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one more, Dana, quickly. Raul Rosas Jr. had to not fight tonight because he got sick. I think you're rebooking that for the Apex. Are you going to let those guys do it at catch weight so they don't have to cut weight again?
Yeah, they already made weight. So they made weight here. We'll let them fight there to catch weight.
Carlos Mastache de Superluchas. Has hablado algunas veces ya sobre un mega evento en la esfera. ¿qué sensación te deja este evento hoy en México?
You're talking about the spectacular that is going to be the Sphere, but what do you think about the crazy crowd here tonight in Mexico?
No, I mean, I can't talk enough about how much I love this country and the people and the fight history, the love of where you come from, the love of your people, the love of, supporting each other the way that you do. It's awesome. I love everything about this country.
Hemos visto varias evoluciones, y no es que hasta mutaciones de UFC. ¿Podría este mega evento en la esfera llevar, por ejemplo, artes marciales mixtas y una pelea estelar de boxeo, por ejemplo, con Canelo Alvarez?
We're seeing a lot of evolution in mixed martial arts. Is there a possibility at some point that at the Sphere we can see a mixed martial arts event with the main event in a boxing match of Canelo fighting?
Canelo fighting one of my guys? Who do you want to see Canelo fight out of my guys? Does he understand one word I'm saying?
¿A quién le pondrías contra Canelo?
Pues ahorita hay una buena propuesta en quien salga de Gaethje con Max Holloway.
Between Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway, the winner, it could be a good fight against Canelo.
You think, how many people in here want to see that fight? Raise your hands. One guy. And you. Two of you. Probably not, sir. Probably not. It would probably be a bad idea.
Ok, una última. En este caso, ya vimos que el triunfo de Ortega, pero todavía falta ver ese resultado de precisamente Max Holloway compitiendo por ese cinturón. ¿Podría Max todavía regresar para competir por el cinturón donde está Brian Ortega?
Is Max Holloway win against Justin Gaethje if he has any possibility to fight against Brian Ortega?
I don't know yet. I don't know what we're going to do yet. I mean, the fight just happened. Literally just got over 15 minutes ago. We'll get back to the office and figure out what's next.
No sé qué va a pasar, la pelea acaba de pasar hace 15 minutos, iremos a la oficina y veremos qué es lo que sucede en los próximos meses.
Dana, back here.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, with the loss of Yair Rodriguez, one of the contenders is out, but tomorrow, Ilia Topuria is having a great day with Real Madrid in Spain. He's just becoming a bigger star. What do? Do you wait for a show in Spain, or maybe international fight week for Ilia Topuria while you find a contender?
I would love to go to Spain, so we got to figure that out.
Are you thinking the stadium, Santiago Bernabeu, just got renewed?
I'm not thinking anything. I'm not thinking anything right now. I got a whole department that works on that. I got Pete Ropic. We'll dive in and see what's available, what's not available, and we'll start grinding and trying to make that happen. But the answer is yes. I want to do that, and I want to do it this year.
And what do you think for Mexico next? You have one show this year. Maybe what you just announced in Anaheim with the WWE and you guys doubling dates. This arena also holds the WWE with great success. Would this be a thing that you would think about for Mexico City, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this was obviously incredibly successful. Now with the opening of the PI, we have huge plans for Mexico, and it's not just Mexico City. I want to go all over Mexico.
And just one last question. Alexa Grasso was on the commentary team today for the Spanish broadcast in the U.S. Do you have a date thought out for Alexa Grasso? Do you want to do it in Noche UFC? Do you want to wait? Is there any plan for Alexa Grasso right now?
We'll announce that soon.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Moises Mendoza from Hermosillo. I want to know, Alexa said she want to make a defense in Guadalajara. How possible can that be? And another question, MLB, NFL, NBA work regularly, like on a yearly basis here. Is it possible to have the UFC on a yearly basis?
The answer is yes to your first question, and the answer is yes to your second question. Absolutely. Listen, we are in Mexico now. The UFC is officially here in Mexico now. We actually planted a flag here. We have our own building here now. We have our facility. We're going to be doing a lot in this country now. We're here.
Thank you.
Yep.
Buenas noches, de este lado.
How are you, sir?
¿Qué sensación le deja en general el evento en México, pensando que por ahí hubo un problema que en la tribuna que pudiera ser motivo de alarma? No sé si para que regrese o no regrese, ¿Qué sensación le deja ese problema que hubo extra octágono?
What's your final feeling about the event? We know that there was a fight in the crowd that is not looks good for the UFC, but what is your final thoughts about this event?
So the fight in the crowd doesn't look good for the UFC? I mean, that never happens. That literally never happens. It happened here in Mexico City. The crazy thing about that fight, when that fight broke out, it felt like it kept going forever. So I ran over there and I was watching it. Nobody stopped it. I mean, I was waiting for security to come in. They just let him go till it was over. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I don't think it's a bad look for the UFC. It happened, and, you know, that was the end of that. I think after everybody else saw that shit, nobody else wanted to try that again. No security. The fight just went on until the fight was over. I've never seen any shit like that in my life. Crazy.
Bueno, fue una locura, la verdad no es algo que le moleste a UFC, realmente no es que pase muy seguido en los eventos, pasó aquí y a mí lo que me sorprendió es que no había seguridad que separara la pelea. Yo estuve viendo pues toda la pelea hasta que terminó y afortunadamente pues bueno, ya no siguió más, pero pues sí, no había seguridad.
Y una pregunta más es, ¿qué le deja más satisfecho de estar aquí en México?
What gave you more satisfaction about coming back to Mexico?
What gave me the most what?
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction? The opening of the PI. The opening of the PI has been, you know, a goal of mine for a very long time. We had a place in the works. Then COVID hit. That deal fell apart. We found this new place. We got it together. We're finally here. This is something that I've been waiting for a long time. So it was very satisfying to walk through the gym here in Mexico City.
La que más satisfacción nos da es la apertura del UFC Performance Institute. Es algo que lo teníamos planeado desde hace mucho tiempo. En algún momento cuando llegó el COVID se tuvo que cerrar el lugar inicial. Encontramos otro lugar y pues llegó para quedarse UFC en México.
¿Qué tal? Buenas noches, Ricardo Rodríguez de Factor 4. Con la apertura del performance nos comentaban que ya existe una prelista de 35 peleadores. ¿Qué nos puedes adelantar? ¿Qué vieron en ellos? ¿Su récord? ¿Edades? ¿Qué parámetros? ¿Qué necesita ese peleador para ser parte del performance?
With the opening of the Performance Institute, they tell us that you already have 35 fighters already to talk about to start this Performance Institute. What was the kind of things that you may collect these kind of fighters, these 35 fighters?
Yeah, so there's going to be a combine there, and we're going to decide which guys we're going to keep to train there at the Performance Institute. But the other thing that we're going to do is, and I guess to answer your question, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to do what we did the first time we came down to Mexico and went through this country. Look for people that we think have potential to break into the top 10 or potentially be world champions someday, just like we did with the other program that we built before the Performance Institute here in Mexico. And then the other thing that I'm excited about with it is the work that it's going to do in the community, to bring kids in off the streets and have the opportunity to learn how to train, learn how to do jiu-jitsu, wrestle, box, Muay Thai, nutrition, strength and conditioning. Going to do a lot of good things for a lot of young people, you know, in the community here in Mexico City.
Por supuesto que es importante esta elección. Hemos hecho lo que hemos hecho desde antes, tratar de pues encontrar qué peleadores pueden llegar a formar parte de ese top 10 en algún futuro. Y otra de las cosas importantes es lo que va a ser para la comunidad en general, para la comunidad de las artes marciales mixtas en México, el tener el Performance Institute aquí en la ciudad.
Okay, muchas gracias. ¿Y qué probabilidades hay de ya 20,000 personas de que este mismo año regresar a UFC o el siguiente?
Is there any probability that you come back to Mexico in this year or next year in UFC?
It's possible. It's possible. You know, if you asked me 2 months ago if I was going to Spain, I'd say probably not. You know, if you asked me if I was going to Africa, I'd say I want to, but I don't know if it's going to be this year. So the beautiful thing about this sport is anything can turn on a dime. And we're the type of company that we're not all tied up in bureaucratic red tape and all that stuff. I make these decisions immediately. If I see the opportunity to do something, we go.
Okay, muchísimas gracias.
Thank you.
Felicidades primero que nada por un evento más en México. ¿Qué posibilidades hay o qué rivales hay para Topuria y si se puede sumar, ya que había como una disputa ahí entre Jair y Topuria y ahora que ganó Brian Ortega, ¿hay posibilidad de que entre dentro de los rivales?
Congratulations because of the event here in Mexico. Now, talking about the future of Ilia Topuria, is there any possibility that he face Jair El Pantera Rodriguez because of the bad blood that they have between them?
Well, I mean, tonight set him back a little bit for that fight, but not saying they couldn't fight in the future, but it's definitely not happening right now.
Se podrá en un futuro, pero por lo pronto no. Digo, obviamente la derrota de Jair El Pantera Rodríguez lo atrasa un poquito para esa posibilidad.
Y una última pregunta, ¿te sorprendió algún performance en particular en la noche de hoy?
It surprised you, any fight of today, any fighter today?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of kids that looked good tonight. Obviously, Torres looked incredible. Torres looked incredible. I thought Danielle looked awesome. I mean, he absolutely put on a master class in that second round. It was incredible. So yeah, I think a lot of people look good tonight.
Manuel El Loco Torres tuvo una gran presentación. Lo que hizo Daniel Selhuber tuvo un segundo round espectacular. Creo que son dos talentos mexicanos que tienen mucho futuro.
When you open a card in Mexico, the main card, Torres, you couldn't have had it any more perfect than the way that kid opened the card. It was incredible.
Cuando abres un evento y tienes en tu primera pelea a Loco Torres, tú sabes que todo va a salir increíble. Lo hizo espectacular.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, sir. Good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great